Hi everyone, this is Evgeny and welcome to our LangGraph introduction series. This time we are looking at the human-in-the-loop concept and we're gonna check what breakpoints are and how to work with them. And quick note, there is a link to Amazon website in the description, so please click on it and then when you buy something somewhere, Amazon will reward me and provide a couple of cents, so I will be closer to my dream, a new keyboard. Alright, thanks a lot, and now let's jump into the coding session. And today we're going to talk about breakpoints, and the first use case is approval. So what's that? If you are working with AI agents, for example, I'm on Windsurf and it has Cascade, which is an AI agent. Approval is something where you're doing some dramatic changes. For example, you're making a calls that costs the user money, or for example, you are changing real-life database or some other changes like file system. So in this case, you would like to be sure that your agent, the changes your agent is performing is correct. And you're asking for approval of the user. And I can demonstrate it to you. For example, I can go to this AI agent here and I can type something like create a new Git branch with the name ASD and what's happening next, this agent probably has tooling as well, and it recognizes that this is about, I don't know, maybe it's either a terminal command or it's a Git itself, but finally it comes up with the idea that this git checkout -b should be implemented, and then here it's asking me for accepting the command. So this is approval itself, so this is how it works. And this is something we are going to simulate right now. Alright, so I'm closing it, and if you think about the approval process then and the streaming concept we have already, so what we need to have a way how to stop the execution. So not waiting until the end, but stop somewhere in the middle. And the second thing, we have to have a way how to resume the execution, right? And then we can inject our human behavior approval process somewhere in the middle, and then everything is fine, right? I'm going to reuse the agent from the third lesson, so it's the same. I'm not going to go through it, talk about details. This is our classical agent, and let's compile it. And nothing is new here, right? What we have start, assistant goes to tools, it can go back, and then assistant makes a decision if there are another tool call, or we go into the end. And let's try to insert a breakpoint here. And which way we can do this? When we compile in a graph, we can define the breakpoint like this one. So I'm saying please interrupt before tools, and everything else stays the same. So I'm recompiling the graph again, and take a look. This time we can see, okay, there's an interruption process which happens before the control flow goes to tools. So breakpoint is here. Let's check how it works. And again, I'm creating a new thread, right? I have a human message. Like this was a financial advisor, so my question is, should I invest in Tesla stocks? And then I'm just printing all the states that we have here. So I'm running it. And take a look what's happening. We do have a message from us, as a human message, then AI message, and there is a tool call. And practically that's it, right? The execution stopped here. And this happened because we have this interruption before tools. So we stop somewhere here in the middle, and next step, well, let's check. We can grab the current graph state, and that's of type state snapshot. And we do have a lot of different parameters, metadata here as well. But what we're interested in, what's the next step, right? So I can check the attribute next, and this is tools. So we have the first condition, we know how to stop, right, the graph. The next step is how to resume it. And this is very interesting because there is a shortcut for that, a hint if you want. What happens when we run the graph, when we're streaming it? We put initial input, which is a human message, then thread information, and stream modding as well. This one can be omitted. But if you would like to resume the already started thread, what you have to do, instead of initial input or the messages, you're provided none. And this would tell LangGraph that please continue execution from the place where you left last time. And this is the hint you can use for resuming. Like here, for example, I'm streaming again my graph, providing none as a list of messages as an input, and let's see how it goes. And see what's happening. First, I have the call where I stopped. This is a tool call. Then there is a tool message, the real call, like look up for the stock symbol, and this is via internet. And then there is another AI message for another call, like fetch stock data row. And again, it stopped. Why? Well, because we have it here, interrupt before. So what happens? It stopped here, I run it again, the tool call happened, it goes back to assistant. Assistant recognizes, okay, there is a need for another tool call, it goes here and then stops again here. And this is the state where we are currently. All right, so let's try and combine all this together. So what do we have here? We define a new thread and we have an initial input. And then what's happening here? We have a infinite loop, so we have two loops practically. We have an infinite loop because we don't know, the problem here is we don't know how many tool calls will happen, so we have to be prepared for that. And for every kind of looping chunk, we have this for cycle, and inside we are just emitting events, so we can see it's kind of communication, we can see what's happening there, and if this is a tool call, then we are trying to extract the tool name and we are asking for user approval. Like if this tool should be executed or not. And if yes, then we do the execution, so we continue, we are resuming the flow, otherwise we are canceling. And yeah, that's it practically. So let's see how it works. And I'm running it. And what do we have here? We have a human message which asks for, should I invest in Tesla stocks? And we do have this AI message which contains, there is a tool call, there is a need for tool call. And here we have to approve that. And do you want to call the tool with the name tool lookup stock symbol? And you can say yes or no. For example, I'm saying yes. And then it continues. There is a real call and the result is TSLA. And it goes back to our assistant and it says, okay, there is another tool call like fetch stock data row, this one. And we can see it here, right? Do you want to call the tool fetch stock data row? And I'm answering yes again, and it fetches the data and it provides the suggestion at the end. So if I'm switching it back to the full log here, we can see it. It was a tool call for Tesla. It was again repetition of the tool, the previous state. Then we do have a lot of data, and then the final step, our assistant is capable of providing a recommendation for us, so it's there. And let's give it another try and try to cancel it. Somewhere in the middle, right? So we started a new conversation with number 3, and again I'm running it. And the same kind of algorithm happens. Should I invest in Tesla stocks? There is a call for tools, and I'm answering this time the first one, yes, please do. And we get back TSLA from external servers, and there is another tool call, and this time I'm asking no. Let's stop it here. And it finished. See, like tool call fetch stock data row was cancelled by user, and the whole flow was finished, terminated. So this is how it works. And again, referring to our previous video, we can do all the things with LangGraph Studio, because LangGraph Studio is kind of local server which is run on your local machine. And let's try to do the same thing using LangGraph API. So first I have to get the URL for local server, which is run on my local machine, and I'm copying the URL. And the port is random one, that's why we have to do it every time. And then let's enumerate all the assistants. I have 3 at the moment. Like this time I'm going to work with financial advisor, and this is this C4 assistant ID. So what we are doing here, again, the same question, should I invest in Tesla stock? And C4 is my assistant ID. So if you think about this is graph from our previous lesson video, and it doesn't have any breakpoints here. So which way like I can reuse it and still have a breakpoint? And there is a hint for that, because practically you have 2 ways how to define your endpoint. It could be either on the compilation time, or you can define it here. So you again, the same kind of snippet, you are streaming your graph, and here you're defining, I would like to be interrupted before tools. And the rest is the same. You have thread ID, you have assistant ID, you have the message about investing in Tesla stocks, and value as a streaming mode, and we are just pre-printing the messages. So I'm triggering it. And see, it was the human message first, then it was a tool call, and then it stopped here because it wants me to accept the continuation, kind of, right? So I will retrigger it again, and this time it's again interruption before tools, and the input is none, which means I would like to continue from the place where it was stopped last time. So I'm running it again, and we can see the previous message, it was pre-printed only, and then we have the real tool call, and then it goes back to our assistant, and then again assistant tells, okay, there is a need to another tool call, and we stop again. So we need another acceptance here, right? And I'm doing this again one more time, like none. So please continue where you stopped. And now we have it. Like we do have the, like for keeping an eye on that, we have the previous message. We do have a real call, which returns you data from external service, and we have the result of assistant itself of LM chat model generating recommendation. And maybe last example, I would like to show you this time breakpoints. What happens, for example, like I copy pasted the financial advisor breakpoint, financial advisor agent, and the only thing like I also compiled it with interrupt before tools. So this one, and this is the name financial advisor breakpoint. So if I go here and select it, okay, you can see it here, right? It's interrupt before is enabled, and it's even shown graphically here. And let's check how it works if I run it in the studio. So I'm grabbing the same kind of question about Tesla stocks. As a human message, and I'm submitting it. And it goes, and see, it stops here. Like we do have that human message, we do have this tool message, and now we have to continue, like kind of, we have to submit it. We have to accept the continuation. So I'm clicking on continue, and there is a tool call. We have TSLA, and then assistant again asks for fetch stock data row tool call, and then again we have to click on continue. So I'm clicking on continue, and we have this from external service, and finally we have the recommendation. All right, that was a very easy case where the first step where with user interaction, where we can stop it, inject user's approval, and then we continue if the approval is here. In the next videos, we will take a look at the more complex use case where a user would like to modify some data. So it's not only interjecting with acceptance or cancellation, but it's also about changing some data. Thank you that you stayed with me till the end. It was Evgeny. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.